so forth. So that's where counsel can help. Next slide, please. So as roles and responsibilities, first and foremost, I view myself as an advisor, providing guidance on a wide array of legal and business issues that are essential during the early stages of the company's development. So my philosophy is to learn about your business, because I know the most important thing for you is the bottom line. So I want to make sure that you're making as much money as you can legally and properly. Can you go back, please? So formation and structuring is what we're going to talk about today. So advising on the most appropriate business structure, such as LLC, corporations, or partnerships, draft and file the necessary formation documents, and create foundational legal documents like bylaws and operating agreements, and ensuring that you know how to properly govern your entity, whichever you choose. All right, next one. So there's several considerations in selection of a business entity. Several considerations evaluate and align with the founders or investors' objectives. The choice of entity involves legal, tax, and operational implications. And it's essential to assess the specific needs and goals of your particular business to find the right entity for you. Next slide, please. A legal structure should be chosen based upon liability protection, management structure, and ability to attract investors. From a legal standpoint, a lawyer's most important thing is to make sure that you're properly insulated from personal liability, which means if your company gets sued or somehow your company gets fined, they'll only have access to the assets of the company, not your personal assets, like your house, your car, your 401k, and so forth. So having a properly run entity can help protect you from personal liability. Next slide, please. So there's several entities. C corporations are popular for big corporations like Nike and General Motors. They offer limited liability to the shareholders, centralized management through the board of directors, and the ability to issue tax qualified stock options to employees. And 7 minutes, thank you. I like that, we got timing and everything. Okay, so LLCs provide flexibility, operational flexibility, and provide tax efficiencies as profits and losses are passed through to your personal tax returns, so it avoids double taxation. The C corporations are taxed at the corporate level and at the shareholder level. So working with a lawyer and a good tax advisor will help you take the most tax advantages for your entity. And then one of the things I think we focus on here is primarily sole proprietorships, which are simpler to establish and expose owners to unlimited personal liability. But the entities that you guys are starting right now probably will have low liability exposure. But once you grow and start getting more money, we want to start thinking about doing a more formal entity. Next slide, please. So the tax considerations, like I said before, C corporations are subject to double taxation. S corporations, LLCs, and partnerships allow for pass-through taxation, which can be advantageous for startups aiming to minimize the tax burdens as you just start. Next slide, please. So the practical and strategic factors must be considered, such as your plans for growth, funding needs, and potential for employee equity participation. One of the things I always ask new clients is, what are your long-term goals? If your long-term goals are to look for venture capital or angel investors to invest in your company, or potentially sell or merge or do an IPO, ultimately you're going to want to be a C corporation, but it doesn't make sense to start as a C corp because of the costs and expenses of maintaining it. But there are ways that we can start you out to make you grow into a C corp once it's ready. Next slide, please. So founders should be advised on the importance of maintaining corporate formalities. It's not just important, thank you, it's not just important to set up your company, but to make sure you know how to run it, to make sure that you're properly protected. So one of the main things you don't want to do is commingle personal funds with business funds. You want to make sure that when you have your checking accounts, they're properly marked business and personal, and you only do business expenses on the business account and personal on the other. If for some reason you have to loan money from personal to the business, from the business to personal, you want to document it and make sure it's paid back. And accountants and CPAs can help you with that. Next slide, please. So S Corps are probably the most popular startups that I use in my clinic. It's a popular business entity because unique tax advantages and limited liability protections. The small business corporation elects to be taxed as a subchapter S by the IRS, which means the taxes just pass through to your personal taxes. Once you file your corporate tax return, all the earnings that you make will be on a K-1 that will be filed with your personal tax return. Shareholders benefit from limited liability. meaning they're not personally liable for the business debts or obligations. Next slide, please. The advantages of it is avoids double taxation. There's a favorable employment tax treatment, so you can take money out of the company as an employee at a lower tax rate than as a shareholder. And it also provides continuity in ownership. The shares can be transferred without triggering adverse tax consequences. Next one, please. The limitations are, could be limited to 100 shareholders. Also, you must be a nationalized citizen or a U.S. citizen. Certain trusts and estates can own S corp shares, but you can only issue one class of stock, so common stock. It's less flexible, and the shareholders cannot include entity level debt in their tax basis, and that's more of a CPA question or a tax issue. Next slide, please. Sole proprietorships, which is probably what we're going to focus on here. Thank you. Which is a single individual owns all the assets and is responsible for all the liabilities. So there's no personal liability protection with sole proprietorships. It's simplest and least expensive form of business to establish by individuals starting small businesses or professionals who wish to avoid the costs and formalities of incorporation. The owner's personal assets are not protected by from business risk. So it's important to make sure you're properly insured to cover any potential losses you might have. And it does not have legal standing to sue or be sued in its own name. It's individual owner. All right, next slide, please. General partnerships are basically solo proprietorships, just two people coming together, so the same things can apply. I don't want to miss my time. Next slide, please. LLC is a hybrid business entity that combines features of both partnerships and corporations. This is kind of a popular entity as well. From a partnership model, LLCs adopt characteristics such as informality and double vision. LLCs are flexible in structure and governance, and they have the ability to own property in their own name. LLCs are really popular for real estate investment. Most of my real estate investment clients hold their properties in LLCs. Next slide, please. We talked about corporations. This is one of the most popular. There's C and S Corp. C Corps, like we said before, are the big corporations. S Corps are for small businesses. Hopefully, if your business grows and the entity is reflected that we should turn it into one, then we'll do an S Corp. Next slide, please. Joint ventures are kind of unique, and it's when two people come together for one purpose. Thank you. Joint ventures I've done before have involved real estate brokers and contractors where they do a joint venture to buy and sell homes to flip. The realtors will find distressed properties, general contractor will go in and do the work, and then they'll sell it for a profit and split the profits. So that would be something that joint venture would be appropriate for. Next slide, please. I made it. Well, no, thank you. So thank you for your attention and participation. My name is Professor Dan Alexander. My contact information is on the slide, so if you ever want to reach out to me, my email number, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I just published a book, and that's a copy of it, Representing Startups and Emerging Companies. It's available by LexisNexis and Matthew Bender. Thank you very much. Before I leave, I want to say I spent a lot of time in your clubs in the 80s. I enjoyed
Baby.
I had a Jerry curl too back then.
Here too.
Yeah, Eve's after dark, right? Okay, now Alonso's working to open it back up. So everybody root for him in your head and say, oh, I hope that club open back up. It's 135th and Crenshaw. Avalon, El Segundo. Okay, so let's try to root for each other, you know. Is Bumpy here? What happened to Bumpy? Oh, and I forgot to introduce Andre Joseph. Can you stand, please? That's Andre right there. They come, they're my alumni, they help me. I just need to give them a shout out real quick. Okay, now, how many are in here are nonprofits? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna particularly work with you myself. That's what I do. I do nonprofits. I have to fit in wherever I can fit in. But what I do enjoy are nonprofits because we're the pulse of the community. We're the ones that can give people information quickly. I feel as though during the pandemic that they grossly underutilized nonprofits. I felt like we were a nonprofit. We're here. what can we do? So we closed down for about a month, in the heat of everything. I told everybody, you guys work from home, and then we went out on our patio. We didn't have not one incident. We went, and our classes were outside, everybody had on a mask, but we kept going, because we have to keep going. It's like we're playing catch up. So it's like sitting on a train. If you don't get out the way, that train's gonna run over you. In the meantime, if you're able to reach up and grab an opportunity, reach up and grab it and don't let it go until you're done with it.